Even when I saw the damage, I would get my weave done and some days I would cry after getting my weave done. I would have to take painkillers because it was so tight. We would take the weave out and there would be so many chunks of hair on the floor, and it was very sad. And I'd be like, oh my God, but in the same token, I'm like, put it back in. My name is Janelle Grimmond, and I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, but I was raised in New York City. My parents came here, they sent for me and my siblings, and it was all about making sure we got our education. I started my career as an intern for Vibe magazine, and I was able to move up through the ranks at Vibe. I've also worked with Essence magazine, and I've worked for Honey magazine, Latina magazine, books like Nylon and Paper. In the fashion department, we plan photo shoots and work with models, and so the travel came along with having to actually go to on location shoots. I've traveled to Jamaica, Curaçao, Trinidad and Tobago, Maarten, Barbados. Oh, love Barbados. I've been to the gorgeous continent of Africa, Zimbabwe. Would never forget that experience. It's so magical. Zambia, South Africa, Nigeria. I do know that my hair has gotten me noticed. You know, anytime I've ever either walked on set or, you know, I come into the office for an editorial meeting, or I meet someone, the first subject would be hair. It was such a native, natural thing to me that it just came natural. So I attracted a lot of hairstylists, celebrity hairstylists, and people that just wanted to do my hair because they saw the passion I had for it as well. And then on top of that, what stylists love is the client that knows how to maintain their hair. Because when you leave their chair, you're their calling card, you know? So they always love the fact that when they would see me a week later, they're like, yes, her hair is still pulled together. Yes, that's how you do it. They'd be like, that's how you do it. The damage came with weaving. I would see my hair when I take out the weave and I would be like, oh my God, you would see so much hair breaking off. You would see that when I would get my hair washed sometimes, the braids aren't drying 100%. So when the braids don't dry 100%, you can potentially get mold on your hair. You can potentially, and molding causes a lot of breakage. So we would take the weave out and there would be so many chunks of hair on the floor. And it was very sad. And I'd be like, oh my God, but in the same token, I'm like, put it back in. I wouldn't really give myself a break in between because there was a certain look. I had a certain aesthetic. I was so into it that I kind of neglected my hair. I neglected my hair 100%, even when I saw the damage, you know? I would get my weave done and some days I would cry after getting my weave done. I would have to take painkillers because it was so tight. And even when he would try not to do it tight, you're braiding, then you're putting a net on, then you're sewing the weave on top of that. I mean, it's still gonna be tight. And then it got to a point where I had to tell myself, if I don't stop doing this, then my hairline is going to be completely gone. And whenever I would walk down the street and I would see other women, especially black women, and you can see their hairline is all the way back. It's receded to the point of no return. I didn't want to be like that at all. And I started feeling for myself, you know, because when you get to that place that you start really feeling for yourself, you don't put yourself through as much torture as you probably would before. So I decided that I was going to take baby steps to help regrow my hair, and I figured that maybe I should stop wearing weaves like that. And I'm like, but what am I gonna do? Because my hair wasn't in a state where I felt comfortable with wearing it just out like that, you know? And then I'm also working in the industry where, I mean, if you're not giving a look, if you're not turning it, if it's not laid, it's sit down, you know? So for me, I'm like, how do I do this? I decided to start cornrowing my hair and wearing a wig, right? I was nervous about wigs because who wants to be taking a wig on and off? Who wants to deal with the wig when you're dating? Who wants to deal with the wig for everyday life? That was the beginning of me transitioning into really taking care of my hair, because at that point I started to build a relationship with my hair, because when you take that wig off at night, you're still dealing with your hair, you know? Being happy that my hair wasn't pulling. I do know that those moments when I was constantly wearing wigs, it was my moment to get to this place where you see me now. So what you see today is me being very adventurous in this hot Los Angeles weather. I blew my hair out and I flat ironed it and added a few of my little favorite products to get it to look this way and have some sheen and moisture to it. And yeah, so that's what you're seeing right now. You know, and it's not, if you notice, it's not bone straight. It's kind of bone straight, but it's not bone straight because as soon as you do it, it kind of shifts back to its original state. Yeah. You know, so now I have my wigs, and it's so funny sometimes when I put them on, I'm kind of not interested anymore because I'm really into what my hair is giving right now. And my hair had to trust me again. Because for a long time, my hair wasn't growing. My hairline wasn't trying to grow back until, you know, my hair started seeing that I cared and I wanted better. I think it started to be like, okay, I want to work with her. We're going to grow back, you know? So yeah, I think that's pretty much what it was. You know, me just loving my hair and taking time to actually understand what it likes, what it doesn't like, you know, how it grows, what the curl pattern is, what it does. Even on days when I didn't like how it looked, I still walked outside with my kinky curly afro like, hey, this is what it's giving, you know? And then on top of that, now I realize that it's how you do it. It's how I was doing it. So with anything, you need to understand you have to have a balance with it. I don't believe that beauty has to be painful at all, you know? And I know we've grown up hearing that, but it's just not true. It's not true. Because right now I'm wearing my natural hair, I'm feeling beautiful, I'm feeling great, and I'm not neglecting myself in the process. And I think that's what's the most important thing.
Wow, what an amazing story. When we come back, Janelle will be blessing us with her hair tips and tricks while traveling. So stay tuned.